In my opinion, mine, my opinion, Shamia's having a terrible reunion. It's like Shamia wasn't prepared. And it's not because she doesn't want to talk over people. Shamia is not prepared. And that's interesting. Like, Shamia's getting caught in lies. She's getting tongue twisted. You can tell that she's using like last ditch efforts. Like, ooh, Shamia. And Angela, 43? I guess. I mean, I'm 40, but 43? Okay. What's up, everybody? Welcome and welcome back to the channel. I'm Tammy. This is Tammy Talks. We are here to talk the Real Housewives of Atlanta, Season 16, Episode 19, The Reunion Part 2. If you guys are brand new to the channel, or if you've been here all season and you have not yet subscribed, please do me a favor and hit that subscribe button, thumbs up the video, and then leave your comments down below. So we pick up where we left off with part 1, where Angela is still going back and forth with Phaedra, okay? Now, remember, Angela was accusing Phaedra of sending Marcus to say this about her and Charles because Phaedra's older brother knows Marcus's and all this type of bullshit. I'm still like, now when Phaedra said everybody that knows my brother and my sister, I don't know, I felt that, right? When you are the younger sibling and you have older siblings that know a whole ton of people, that's facts. Right? I don't care how small your town is. Like, people say Milwaukee is small, right? Me and my brother went to 2 different high schools. I do not know everybody that man knows. I just don't. And we are both from Milwaukee, born and raised. He went to college out of state, but I don't know everybody that my brother knows. I just don't, right? So Angela is saying that she is shocked that Porsha would believe Phaedra, okay, when Phaedra has allowed Porsha to carry a lie about another castmate. I said, oh, Lord. And I mean, all Porsha can do is sit back and, because I mean, so Porsha maybe, okay? Just maybe. So Phaedra once again reiterates that just because someone knows her brother or her sister does not mean that she knows them. So Angela said, Phaedra likes to self-produce, and that Phaedra also lied about knowing Charles. Let Phaedra tell us she does know Charles and nobody knows Angela. Angela said, look, all your faves know me. I was with Phaedra. What faves? And not even on no shady shit. I was into it like with faves. So Angela is like, all the faves that are in the rooms that you want to be in. Angela can get in those rooms because of Charles. So not too much dip on your chip, Angela. And I fucks with Angela. I like Angela. But Angela, you are getting into these rooms because of your husband, right? So Angela said that those are the rooms that Phaedra wants to get in. Phaedra said that she's in the rooms. The rooms that she's in, Phaedra, they have Oscars and Emmys. Angela said, because you're breaking into those rooms. I said, breaking into them? Like, what? Talk about some, I've heard about you. So Phaedra was like, oh, so now I'm a burglar. So Phaedra was like, look, let me call my brother. So she calls her brother, and I'm going to be real with y'all. The moment that Phaedra was like, I'm at the reunion, you're being recorded, we knew which way he was going to go. He's going to defend his sister. He's going to ride for his sister. He's going to lie on his sister. Now, do I think Phaedra did it? Sure. Why not? Why not? Is it a possibility that Phaedra did not do it? Sure. Why not? But no matter the cause, or no matter what I believe, what I know for a fact is that the moment that she said, hey, Jacques, I'm at the reunion, you're on speakerphone, you're being filmed, of course he is going to deny. Why wouldn't he, right? I feel like this would have been more impactful if he would have just thought that she was talking to him, right? But okay, so Also, I wouldn't put it past Phaedra to be like, I might have to call you during the reunion because the way she was like, who got a phone? Let me call my brother real quick. I said, okay, cool. So, according to her brother Jacques, he does not know that Lady Kim and Angela said that Phaedra had somebody come up to her at the Hawks game and say, I'm the one with the hands. I got them hands. I said, what? So they were like, okay, Drew, you were at the interrogation with Marcus, okay? Do you believe that Phaedra was in on this? And Drew was like, well, Marcus did seem scared. And, Phaedra do got them hands. Y'all called her the Godfather. I'm like, Drew is so unserious. Drew, that's why they be putting you at the end. Stand on business, Drew. What do you think? So Cynthia was like, well, you said that Phaedra's spot was secure, but I think it is. Shut up, Cynthia. I'ma always say shut up, Cynthia, because Cynthia, why are you on this couch? I feel like Cynthia is not giving much. Cynthia, you had your ass in every scene, but you have nothing to interject at all. Cynthia just sitting over there looking with your looking ass. So Kelly lies and said that she did not resonate with Angela and her marriage. She never said that. We get a flashback. Survey says, yes, you did, Kelly. Kelly then said, you know what? I apologize if I did say it, but I don't believe it. We get a viewer question about how old Angela is. Angela has her birth certificate on y'all hoes and said that she is indeed 43 years old. Okay. So Phaedra said that she called Angela old looking after some of the allegations. Just admit that you said it. Angela said, well, you came on the show looking hurt yourself, Phaedra. So if I look 53, you look 63. Phaedra could do nothing but say, okay, girl, it's not worth going back and forth about. Angela gets a question about, do you think that you are perimenopausal and that's why you always hot? She said she could be, as a woman at 43, yeah, you very well could be perimenopausal. And it's not a bad thing. It happens to every woman, okay? We go through the change. So Angela admits that maybe she is, and then said that she is going to be starting a fan line, girl, as you should, because you stayed with the fan, bedazzled and plain. So we find out that she has walked away from the rental properties. It was costing her over $100,000 a month, I guess, to maintain, and then the fees and all that type of stuff. So she felt like she was getting ready to lose everything, so she had to take a step back from it, as you should have, right? It didn't work for you. Maybe next time get just one and not five, okay? So Angela feels that Drew did not have her back at the Bailey Q or at the finale. Remember, during the Bailey Q, when they was all fussing and fighting and fighting and fussing, Drew was in her confessional singing Wade in the Water. Now, do I think that Angela needed Drew to interject in every single argument? No. No. And I will say this. I know that they went through this whole thing about how Angela rode for Drew every chance she got. Did she though? Because Drew was going through a chaotic divorce with that nut job that she is married to. And I don't recall ever seeing Angela ask Drew about her marriage. I could be wrong. If I am wrong, please let me know down below. But I just kind of feel like there are some instances where Angela would get herself into an argument or get herself into a situation with these ladies. Why does I don't know. I don't know. So Drew apologizes if Angela felt that she didn't have her back because that's not how she wanted her to feel at all. Shamia then wants to know why it's okay for Drew to acknowledge not being there for Angela, but Porsha not being there for her is being picked apart. Shamia, you are the one that has made it known that you feel the way that Porsha has not been there for you. You are the one that has been going to these ladies, whether they are starting the conversation with you or not, but you are the one that is having these conversations about how you feel about your relationship and your friendship with Porsha and the support that she gives or lack thereof. Even when you are being drugged by Porsha, Porsha has been throwing daggers at you all episode. You can't help but to try to lick the crack of her ass. I do not understand this, Shamia. I don't understand it. This woman wants nothing to do with you. It is clear Porsha is over the friendship. And here you are still trying to kiss her feet. I don't understand it. This is why you're called a lapdog. Even in that moment, Porsha sat there and threw you to the wolves with them. Oh my gosh, Shamia. Girl, where is your shame? Oh, oh, Jesus. Jesus wept. Okay. So Andy then asked Phaedra why she came to the reunion but didn't go to the Medicine Wives reunion. Phaedra said, well, they didn't want me there and I had nothing left to give. Now I don't watch Married to Medicine. But I'm sure that Heavenly and them was eating your ass up over there, Phaedra. Because Phaedra, you can come to this reunion with all these new girls that aren't really, up to par to going toe to toe with you. You weren't doing it over there with the Medicine Wives. You weren't. You weren't. So they then talk about Phaedra giving Britt advice on camera, and Porsha was saying how she believes this is the first time that we have seen an OG housewife try to help a newer housewife live on camera. She said that Nene and Cynthia had that conversation with her, Porsha, off camera, but for Phaedra to do it on camera, we don't really see a lot of. And Phaedra said, well, it's because she saw that, Britt was not doing herself any favors. You know what I mean? Like, Britt was crashing out, and Phaedra was really trying to help her. So Porsha is then asked with a viewer question, why is she able to be back cool with Phaedra? Where is the grace for Shamea? So Porsha said that her and Phaedra, this took time and distance and space and years. Her and Shamea, they haven't had that yet. Now, I will say, if you look at it from two different sides, y'all know, let me pull my scales out. On one hand, I think that Porsha probably looks at this situation with Shamea as, I've been knowing you for all these years. It took for you to get a peach, and you let these women get in your ear, and now all of a sudden, we're not cool. All of a sudden, you switching up. All of a sudden, you're doing this, okay? That's on one hand. So Porsha feels blindsided by Shamea. On the other hand, it's on some, how dare you? You know what I mean? Like, there's hurt, and then there's the audacity of you to come against me. Do I think Porsha and Shamea's friendship can ever be repaired? Not as long as they are both on the show. As long as Shamea and Porsha are both peach holders, their friendship will never be salvaged, ever. So they then talk about when Phaedra said that Shamea sleeps with everyone's husband years ago. Shamea felt that Phaedra never had a conversation with her about the allegations. Porsha did, but Phaedra did not. Shamea then lies and says that she is not upset about it, but then Angela is like, you just brought it up at the sheep party. You brought it up at Pamper by Porsha, so you were clearly still upset by it. And Cynthia was like, and it's okay if you are. So Phaedra was like, but Shamea, you said that it was laughable. Is that not what you said? Shamea was like, yeah, of course I'm going to dumb it down, I'm going to dumb down the stuff that y'all laugh at me about or whatever. So Phaedra is like, but that's the, that's the issue right now. So Phaedra said, look, I apologize to you. Okay? Shamea kind of half-ass accepts it, but you can tell that Shamea does not fully accept it, which is fine. You do not have to accept every apology. But I feel like if you're going to say you accepted Shamea, don't bring the shit up again. Because Shamea gives me the vibe that she is a person that wants to go along to get along. So Phaedra said that she's apologizing here on national color television. So Shamea is going to accept it, knowing she doesn't mean it. But she's going to keep it in the tuck. And the next time that Phaedra does something that Shamea does not like, or that Shamea feels slighted by, Shamea's going to bring this back up. She's going to bring it back up. So we have a 45-minute lunch break, and Shamea FaceTimes her husband, and I said, Gerald not there? I know, Gerald's not there. So, are y'all going to drag Shamea the way that y'all be dragging Robin when Juan ain't there? I'm just asking. I'm just asking because I mean now Robin, okay? But are y'all gonna drag Shamia the way that y'all dragged Robin? Are y'all gonna drag Gerald the way that y'all drag Juan? Because Juan at least would film every now and again with Robin and the kids. Okay, Shamia's husband be on that FaceTime. So Shamia's telling Gerald that she felt like she was off her game because she did not want to talk over other people, but she got some shit to talk about now. And I'm like, okay. Dennis goes in to see Porsha, and Portia's like, okay, so like what you coming in with? What am I gonna be blindsided? What's tea? Shamia goes to Kelly's room and they talk about Porsha and how her energy is off. And it's like it's like Shamia has to lapdog for somebody or she needs a sidekick. Shamia cannot stand on her own, and that's so disheartening to see. So we then come back from the break and we get the social media statuses and updates from Kenya Moore and Britt Edie. So remember, Kenya put out that status about how, she apologizes for what she did, blah, 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 blah. I feel like Kenya's ass should have been invited. Truth be told, Kenya should have been invited. And y'all know that Kenya should have been invited. She should have. So then we have Britt's statement via Instagram story where she's like, of course, y'all know by now I'm not there. Those pictures were not her. So Shamia thinks that Britt knew the pictures weren't her initially and just kind of played into it to kind of play this up. She also went on to say that they went out with her later that evening. Britt and Shamia did, and I'm sorry, Kelly and Shamia did, and Britt was acting as if everything was okay, but she came back to the group and she was acting as if she was overly distraught. So maybe she knew. So Andy then said that Britt was very adamant that Kenya had something against her and was out to get her all season. Not one lady on that cast, on that stage felt that way. Because we get back to the first episode, that first scene where Kenya comes up and introduces herself. Right? This was after Britt was like, you're getting a divorce, you're getting a divorce, you're getting a divorce, you're getting a divorce. And Kenya was like, oh, you're married? But this was also after I wanted a hug. That's all. Kenya didn't hug me. That was after Kenya didn't hug Britt. Because remember, Britt brought that up. I didn't get a hug. Girl, we are all wearing all white. The fuck you want a hug for? So, Cynthia gets a question. Oh, wait, before that. Okay, no. Okay. So, Cynthia gets a question on why she had grace for Britt, but not for Kenya. Cynthia says she did have grace for Kenya. Now, I'm gonna have to bring you to the front, Cynthia. If I recall correctly, and I do not keep my ear so far deep on the social media streets when it comes to any show. So correct me if I'm wrong. But if I recall, Cynthia was asked, Watch What Happens Live. She was asked about the Kenya and Britt situation. Cynthia admitted that she had not seen the episode or viewed the scene where Britt did threaten Kenya with a gun. I know a lot of y'all like to sit up in the comments and say that Kenya was not threatened. Let somebody tell you I got whips and chains and pistols and all that shit for you. You're going to take that shit as a threat. So let's stop doing that, right? So Cynthia did not view that episode. She didn't see what happened, but she was way harder on Kenya publicly. That's a fact, Cynthia. You were. Now, maybe in your mind you did give Kenya grace, but we didn't see it. As a viewership, we didn't see it. Cynthia then went on to say that she is never going to compromise her integrity to support somebody, and nobody's asking you to, and nobody should. You should not compromise your integrity to support somebody, right? So Porsha said, look, when it happened, When Britt said it, I saw the fear in Kenya. Kenya was visibly shaken. I think all of us that watched the episode saw that Kenya was unsettled by Britt screaming out that she got whatever, whatever in the back of her trunk. Okay. So Porsha said that she was initially protective of a sister of the show. She said, and now you got a loose cannon on the loose, and the name is Kenya Moore, and we know that Kenya is going to retaliate. We have all met Kenya Moore before on this show. We know what Kenya is capable of. And I feel like that was Porsha telling Bravo, y'all knew what Kenya Moore was capable of doing, and y'all did nothing. Y'all did nothing. Porsha said that she knew that Kenya had gotten pictures and done research, and a castmate, one of the other housewives, had given her some information. So Andy was like, well, there was an investigation. No, there wasn't, Andy, because unless y'all went and searched Britt down and patted Britt down and re-listened to all of this, there was no investigation. Because if we, the viewers, clearly heard that y'all forgot to edit the shit out, if we clearly heard Britt say that there was mention of guns and whips, what did y'all hear in y'all investigation that wasn't there? You know what I mean? And then y'all investigated what Kenya did, but clearly y'all didn't do a good enough investigation there because Britt said it's not even her in the fucking pictures. So Porsha then said that Kenya told her that Drew gave her the information on on Britt. Drew was like, I don't even like my name being brought up and shit like that. But she said that she didn't do it. All right. So Porsha said that she was pissed at Kenya and because Kenya knew better. And she said that Kenya was, and Kenya did know better. Make no mistake. I'm not condoning what Kenya did. I think what Kenya did was asinine and stupid, and she knew fucking better. However, Porsha is saying that Kenya felt horrible for what she did because she knows she went too fucking far. Kenya went too far, right? So Cynthia then said that she has not talked to Kenya since that event. And she said that season Sweet 16 was not all that sweet. Again, Cynthia, you came out and you were very vocal about how you were disappointed in Kenya and you were this in her and you were that in her. And I just kind of feel like a lot of that you could have had as a private conversation with her. You know what I mean? You choosing not to speak out because I feel like it's a thin line, right? But at the end of the day, it sounds like Kenya did not feel like Cynthia was being a friend to her about it. Because if I was Kenya's friend, if I was Cynthia, I'd have been like, Kenya, girl, the fuck? What are you? No, you don't do no shit like that. There's a way to have a conversation. But it seems like Cynthia, I don't know. One thing we do know is Cynthia was very vocal publicly about Kenya being wrong, not as vocal publicly about Britt. And I think that's where Kenya feels away. So we get to Shamea's package. Shamea does not appreciate Britt insinuating that she is lying about her daughter's health complications. We find out that she has a new surrogate because that last surrogate, it was a failed transfer. She has one embryo left. There's a viewer question that is there a mandate for Shamea to have a son in this marriage? And Shamea said no, she just wants to please her husband because her husband does everything to please her. At the risk of your health, it looks away, Shamea. That's all I'm going to say, okay? So there's another viewer question about why Shamea continues to compare herself to Drew musically. Shamea was like, well, I shade Drew's songs, but not her ability. No, every chance that you get, you will bring up Drew. Every chance you got, you will bring up Drew's music. Shamea, did you watch the season back, girl? Like, what's happening? So Drew was like, well, you also called me a liar, said because I don't speak 5 languages when clearly I do. Shamea claims that the song title was changed. Drew was like, no, it was always called Affirmations. I think the rest of us knew that when she said the 5 languages, it was the 5 love languages, but I guess, again, Shamea, you're a liar. So Drew has a book for Shamea on the 5 love languages, and she tries to give it to her. Shamea said that she knows what the 5 love languages are. She then said that in regards to Drew saying that she has never had a hard time um hitting a note, that Drew has had a hard time planning a showcase. Drew also got that album out. Drew doesn't have a hard time staying booked and busy. So shut the fuck up, Shamia. Because that don't even make sense. Who gives a fuck about a showcase? Who cares about a showcase? Like, what? A show by Shamia. So then she said that Drew is a liar. Drew was like, what did I lie to you about? Shamia said, well, you're a liar because that martini glass purse that she said was a Lieber. Am I saying it right? Was it Lieber? Judith Lieber? Lieber? Y'all know what she said. That purse was not the real one. Drew's came from Akira. Look, I that's the best you could come up with. Like, because let's not act like a bunch of celebrities, the real rich ones, the real rich ones, a lot of them have replica things. Because if you think that these overly wealthy people are wasting tens and thousands of dollars on jewelry and purses and clothes to make appearances for us sitting at home, you're a fool. You're a fool. Who cares if the purse came from Akira? Who cares? And I know y'all are gonna say, "Well, Drew lied about it. Well, Drew lied about it." It's a purse. Like? How is that hurting anybody? Literally, how is that hurting anyone? Because what it sounds like is Shamia saw that episode and she stared and scanned and did everything she could to examine that purse to have a gotcha moment to come to the reunion with, and that shit is lame. Big lame energy. So Porsha was like, I'll take the fake bag. I'll take the fake one. So Porsha believes that Britt bringing up that text message was her being malicious. She said that there were some things that were malicious, some things that were not, some things were true, some things were not. So Kelly said that she was there that night, but she does not remember seeing Shamia show text messages. And y'all know, now that we know that there is an alliance, Shamia and Kelly are like this. They are going to ride for each other the entire reunion. No matter what, keep the lie alive. That's what they're going to do. So Shamia gets caught in a lie about whether or not Porsha celebrated her when she got her peach. Now, I'm sick of hearing about this shit, right? I don't know what Shamia wanted from Porsha in regards to this. Okay? You knew that your friend didn't want you on the show. Why did you think that she would be excited for you? Okay? So we get to the Porsha versus Shamia package. Andy asks the current status of their friendship, and it is crickets. Okay? Porsha said there isn't. There is no communication right now. Porsha says she could have easily gotten over the stuff that happened on the show. It was more so the smear campaign on the media tour that happened after the season that she doesn't appreciate, that she takes issue with, okay? Porsha said that when she came onto the show, Shamia, she had a plan to sabotage her. So according to Porsha, this is some bullshit this is all the plan that Todd set up to come to us with the bullshit. I said, okay. Porsha said that Shamia used what the fans already knew about her, the not coming to her wedding, all that type of stuff, to try to pull her down this season. Shamia said that I've learned just this season, you didn't come to my wedding because we were beefing. I didn't know we were beefing. Porsha says Shamia only had one wedding. Shamia was like, no, I had more than one, whatever. So even though Shamia told her husband that she was going to go in there and get in gusto, she is still sitting back, not wanting to overtalk Porsha, who is clearly overtalking her, okay? So Porsha said, let me stay on my point. You let Porsha deflect her ass right on out of there, okay? So Porsha feels the way that Shamia tried to form an alliance with the new girls. Shamia is still very firm on the fact that she tried to include her. Porsha said, why would I be in an alliance with somebody, okay, that is trying to come for me? Porsha said, look, I came here for truth. Okay, I've been taking accountability. I've been apologizing. I want to get to the root of the issues today. Porsha and Shamia talk over each other. I'm not gonna try to decipher what they said, but it was a lot of this. They're talking over each other. They're yelling. They're screaming. Whatever the case. So finally, Andy said, "Look, look, look. Okay, cool. Shamia, you said that if Porsha took the first step, that would be, your end to reconcile this friendship. Portia wished you a happy birthday." Shamia said, "Yes, I texted her and thanked her for that." Portia said, "Yeah." And then you continued your smear campaign after that. So then Portia asked, "Why are you fighting with me?" Shamia was like, "Because you're not telling the truth." And Shamia said, no, what did she say? Portia said, "Why are you fighting with me?" Shamia says, "Why are you fighting with me?" Portia said, "Because you're a liar." I said, "Uh-oh. Uh-oh." And so we're gonna continue it tomorrow, um, Monday, Sunday, next week, whenever this shit comes back on, we'll continue with them. But like I said, as long as Shamia has a peach, that friendship is over because Portia does not want Shamia on this show because that way Portia is not able to control the narrative. Shamia is going to continue to let people get in her ear because the reason that they are at this juncture is because y'all let the rest of these heifers sit on the stage, get in y'all ear, and mess up the little piece of friendship that y'all did have. That's what happened. So let me know what you guys thought about this reunion. I thought it was good. I thought it was interesting. I know a lot of people are not necessarily enjoying the reunion. I think it's going okay. It's okay with me. So if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, thumbs up the video and leave your comments down below. I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.